send it like to Ashok to send that like to any queries or anything, so we can solve it out as well. Okay. So till now actually we have seen what is the different type of modeling onto the case modeling, process modeling, flow modeling, and how we can change steps within it. So today we are going to see another part, how we can go for data modeling part, and what's the role of a BA in data modeling. Okay. So what's the like use of data actually, like for, because data says everything about the complete case, like how you present your case, when it was created, how it was created, and related to time of like what type of leave you are applying. So all that have different data objects. So employee, how much leave he can apply, how much time like already he's taken the leave. So based on that context, we need to define what are the different data objects we need for our application. So as part of the DCO, we decide on the that things, what are the data we require for our project, and how we can combine into a related entity as a data objects. And then finally, we create entity relationship diagram, ER diagram, so that from that we get to know what are the different entity we need required, what are the different attributes required for that entity, and then finally we go for the relationship between them. And then finally we are going to see what are the Pega data model now, that like what are the different fields which are present in Pega to represent that one. And then we are going to finally see how we can create properties and our data modeling in Pega. So if you can see in data model as part of the that comes after the process, and there actually like we need to identify what are the different data objects we are associated. So in our case we can see we have employee, so we need all the details about the employee, and we need to apply time of like case related data, what is the type of request, time of request, when is going to apply, when is going to be start. So all that fields we need to identify onto that, and then what are the attributes required for that entity or that data objects, we need to identify that. And finally like the relationship we need to identify, and what is the type of that, like it will be text or decimal, number, date, whatever that attributes we need to identify onto that. So that's actually again what type of data we need to capture in the data modeling. So Pega provide a lot of features like predefined properties with related to case. So all that things actually like who created it, what is his department, what is the organization, and what is the create time. So there actually like around more than 50 fields, Pega take care of that. So all that fields we don't need to think about the case related fields. So that will be automatically created by Pega itself. We need to more focus about the fields which we required for our case. So depend on it, like if you have a claim, in a claim, what are the things we need to know? Actually, what's so the main thing actually we need to know about the loss, like how much loss is happened, what is the loss location, how it was happened, what is the reason, and then we need to know about what is the policy refers to it. So when it was taken, if the claim is within the policy or then, so that we need to know when we are handling a claim. And if you are going for the shopping one, then we need to know how much item he is going to purchase, and what is the like how much quantity is going to purchase, what is the price of uh, that item. So that also we need to require as a data object to the purchase, and then we need to make the payments. So in the payment actually we need have different data objects, actually how he can going to pay from debit card, from credit card, or net banking, or PayPal, or Paytm, any each like options he has. So that we need to capture separately at the payment one. So that's like depend on to the case, we need to capture different data objects and different data entities related to it. Okay. So for our case, actually we can see how we are going to create for our case. So that's actually like a part of our case. We designed this entity relationship diagram where we show all the data objects, all the attributes related to that, and the relationship between them. So that actually describes the visual things, actually how everything is relate and what are the different data we require for our application. So in Pega we can't create this one, but we need to create it in a separate way. But this is required actually as a general industry standard to display the data object relationships. In Pega, actually, like we can visualize it, but not with the attributes. We just have a relationship with the data objects like requester, time off, other leave, extended leave, PTO leave. So based on that, we can visualize the same after we created the data model in Pega. So in our case, if you can see, we have requester, their actually first name, last name, manager, department, and how much leave he has taken, how much leave he is pending. So that actually we are going to take in the requester one. And in time off, what is the type of his leave applying, when it was created, and what is the start date for the same. So that fields we are going to capture as that one. Another, we are creating 3 different leave, other leave, and we need these 2 fields, extended leave we need those 2 fields, and PTO we need 3 fields. So we are going to create all these fields, and we can see that how that can be created in Pega. So before that, we need to understand how Pega model, like data model in Pega. So before coming into that, see, Pega has actually a lot of modes. Actually, like mode is like property type. So Pega provides 3 different modes up to the property that will be called as single mode, advanced mode, and page mode. So advanced mode is not that in use. Actually, that is for, because Pega is developed in Java. So advanced mode is for Java properties. Actually, if you want to use any Java properties, then we need to use the advanced mode. So normally in real world, we don't need to use any one of them. And there is one more property that is the single array. So I'm going to discuss about that when we discuss on the single mode and page mode. Okay. So in single mode, actually, if you say, it will ask you one question: what's your weight? So the answer is a single one, right? Like you can say 70 kg, 80 kg, or 60 kg, 65 kg. Like that will be a single answer. So that's the way actually Pega describe that when you are going for a single entity to describe a single variable or single attribute. And if I'll say, well, how is your health? So that actually comprise of various attributes within it, like what's your temperature, what's your actually like other blood pressure, everything will be covered within the health. So there will be multiple attributes will be shown into the health one. So that's a Pega says that all the related things we can club into a single structure. So that actually in Pega we also call as data objects or data types. So all the related information for that can be clubbed in a single entity. So if you say like employee, in employee we have first name, last name, manager, and all the details we are clubbing in a single data object. So that actually we called as page mode. So in page mode we have 3 different types: page, page group, and page list. So what's the difference between these 3 is, actually page is single page. Like for a single employee, we are going to get that all the details. And page list and page groups are arrays of data. Actually that actually if you have multiple items we want to display in UI, so then we go for page group and page list. And there is one more difference is page list and page group is, page list is ordered array. Okay, so that's what means that the subscript of that will be numeric one. So if I say I want to capture 10 employees at once, so that will be referred as employee 1 dot the property name, employee 2 dot property name. So that way it will be an ordered way. So that actually we can see page list items. And in Pega when we are creating that, that will be referred as field group list. So that is, I'll show you how we can, when we are creating that, we need to select that options for the same. Okay, and Page group is nothing but there is the subscript which we are using to in array, that will be alphabetic one, semantic one, like address. So address is like, if you say I have multiple address of home, multiple address for like my office, and address can be like when we are going for a purchase, it can be a shipping address, it can be a billing address. So that can be created a separate page group. So address contain as a single entity of address 1, line number 2, country, province, state, and then so that is like a single data object that can be converted into a single page, can be converted into page list, can be converted into page group. So depend on to the requirement, we'll look for which one we want to use, as a single page or as a page group or a page list. And within the single mode, we have different types of the property to define the different attributes. So especially for the text, we have text, identifier, password, and encrypted text. So text is normal actually if you are the strings. So there actually we want to say any strings we want to display. So we use simply text property for the same. So we have actually a larger property. We have one more type of the property we call as text area. So there we can write multiple like descriptions, like job description we want to write. So there is one more type of the property we call as text area. So that will be given as we can write multiple lines of in that text. So normally text is like we want to write a single line, and if you want to write multiple lines, we go for text area. And then it's like identifier. So identifier will contain like carries written feed or something we don't want to use in the identifier, so that we use for identifier. If you want to use for password, so password is nothing but like normally user wants to enter the password, that will be encrypted, so nobody can see the that one. So in that time we use the as a password type of the property. Encrypted text. So encrypted means it will be encrypted, but if you want to display that, so you can say actually like when you log in into the Wi-Fi password, there is two options. One actually displays as without password, and then there is actually like you want to show the password or not. So if you click that, it will be converted to display that to you. So in that time we go for encrypted text. Okay, and then they have actually something related to the date, date, time, and date time. And for numeric one, we have integer, decimal, and one more is double, and then finally like boolean, like yes, no, true, false, or yes, no type of the property. Okay. So this is one, and finally like I didn't told you about the value mode. So page mode contains many fields within it. Value mode is it's single array. If you say I have 5 mobiles, so I can say mobile 1, mobile 2, mobile 3, mobile 4. Okay. Or I can, if you want to go by brand, so if it is I'm going by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that will be become a value list. Okay, and if I'm going actually by the brand name, okay, I want to see actually like okay, then actually say phone of Apple, phone, mobile of Samsung, mobile of MI, mobile for Sony Xperia. So same way actually I can represent them in a single array. So value mode as a Pega's best practice is that like don't go for value mode or properties. You go for page mode property otherwise, because in future if you want to extend any attribute for that single array, you cannot do that because that is a single array. But in a page we can extend that properties, like if you want to extend any multiple properties for the same attribute, we can able to do that. So Pega's best practice says that don't go for value mode properties, go for page mode properties for that. If it is actually a single entity, like single attributes also, page will be better onto that.
Is there any benefit using value mode? Like, I mean, does it take less space or something like that?
Yeah, it will take less space. Yeah, it will take less memory, let's see. But if in future, if you say actually I have a mobile, I want to give some more attributes to do that. So I need to define different properties in a different place. I cannot include within that one. But in case of page, see, actually attribute that mobile is a price. But next time I can include more properties associated with it. So that will be related
so we
to
never
the
use
mobile
value
itself.
mode?
Sorry?
So we won't be using value mode at all? I mean, because you said Pega itself is encouraging to use the page mode.
Pega 7, it was not that there. With Pega 7, they have given this approach.
Okay.
I think, yeah, it will be like more performance one, and actually like the maintainability also better onto the page mode. They've enhanced the performance for the page a lot in Pega 7 actually, because they are going to use everything by the page concepts only. So they have enhanced various features onto the page mode. Actually, how we can access the page and everything, they have enhanced a lot onto the page referencing.
Okay.
Okay, so there is the different concepts actually we have regarding the data model. Data model is actually like not that extensive one, because that is part of the separate one, because it's not related many things onto the how we are going to do that. So once actually like it's required discussion onto the case, how much data we required, which data is required, and another actually like it need to be iterative one. After the many iteration, we can come to know that okay, this field is missing, on this field that missing, and during the actual implementation, we might need to know more fields need to be added as well. So might we need initial we got some field, and finally like we can have after implementation also we need many more data fields need to be added into the system. So this will be give you an initial picture of your application, what are the different fields and data we require to process our case. Yeah, so that's actually like on that. Actually now actually I'll go to the Pega application, and then I'll show you how we can create this model in our Pega application. One thing actually, yeah, mainly like I did change the view of that to multi-process, right? So Pega provided a feature that if it is a single step, you can configure the view directly. If it is converted to multi-process, you cannot change the add the properties into that. So I need to do one thing. I need to convert that back into multi-step, like single step process, so that I can show you the view of that one. I'll just get back to you on that. Okay, so if you say we converted our first step, right, like submission, we have added decision shape to describe that. So I need to go back once, because I cannot show you, but I want to show you that like how you can add views directly into the. So okay, now. Okay, so in this actually I converted into a multiple process, and if you see here, this is actually a single step. You can see here configure view. So if I'll do that, I can add fields directly to it. So I want to change this process once again to so in that actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that the complete flow is a different name, and then I can change it later. I did the save as. I'm converting again back to the single step. So the all steps should be visible at the front end. So I'm just submission 1. This I think I should do this actually after discussing about the data model, but I show you that one before the data model. So So I'm removing this one, okay, and I'm connecting as was actually it was before. So I don't need this one. I don't need all the which is coming out from the decision. So I have that one. So from I can connect. Sorry.
So Mukesh, you're saying you need to do this for what reason?
I'll just let you know. 1 minute. I'll just I'll do this one and then I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, like it's not needed. Actually, like if you are in already designed that, it can be like then SA need to do that part. Because actually I want to do show that one to you. So I changed this flow as it was before, okay, in a new name. So I can later use the same flow. So what I'm going to do is I save that one. Let me just see that okay, it's saved properly. Yeah. So what my intention was that, so if you see submission here, right, I'm not able to see the all the steps here because it's changed to a multiple process. Okay, if I see, I give you a submission one and I'm trying to save it. So all the steps which are associated with it, now it will be come here. All the 5 steps which are added, it will be shown here. Okay. And if I refresh now, it will show me all the steps which are associated with it. Nice. It's not changed with that. Let's see properly. Still it's only the older one. Oh, it's changed the name to submission one to the same flow. Mm-hmm. 1 minute. What I want to show you that just a minute. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. Yeah, that's flow change and it should be reflecting That it should be same like that. Okay. What I'll do actually, I just reopen. Sorry. I'm changing this one. In place of the step, I need to change the flow name. Sorry. I'm changing the steps. That's why it's not getting reflected. Editing matters. Ah, yeah, it's fine. Sorry everyone, actually I just want to do that next. Okay. Actually I get saved again with the name of that.
That's fine. Actually, learning a lot of things, navigating in this when you're doing it, you're seeing it. So it's good to see that too.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, actually I need to save this once again because when I submit it once again, it saved me the old one into that. But it's still here in that. When I'm using this, the name which
But why are we doing this? Because anyway, either side it should work, no?
you have to actually like I want to show you something from that. Actually, I cannot show you from multiple process, multi-step process. I cannot show you that. So I'm converting that back to single steps. So the all steps will be there. So I can add properties directly there.
Oh, so it means multi-step process. We cannot create data model like add the
Yes,
properties like page
that's
mode,
right.
value mode and all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
What
in
is
fact,
the
You can do it. Actually, you can do it, but that need to be done actually like in here. You cannot. There is one feature of the Pega will miss that if you do from multi-step process. So that the feature I want to show you that one.
okay.
so if there is a multi-step like that, and if you want to add the data model, then um, it's not possible.
No, it's possible, but in that scenario, we need to create the sections from our end. We need to add the properties directly from the data model, like from there. I'll
Because
show
in
you that.
real world scenario, definitely it's going to be multi steps, right?
Yes,
Always.
that's right. Yes.
I mean, majority of it. I mean, maybe more complex than.
Yes, that's right. Like see, this is we are doing the DCO. Actually, the decision shape which I added that should be added into the later part of it. Mm, mm, no, it's not working actually, which I want to show you on that way. So 1 minute. Actually, I'll do just give me 3 minutes more. I'll just do it once more. Okay. I cancel this one case completely. Okay, and reopen the case. Okay, still it's showing the other one. So I'm just saving it once more to so I'm just giving the name it's submission to. Okay, and I'm removing this one as it's related on actually. I need to all the connectors which is coming from that. Connect this to PTO from PTO to extension. So this is saved now. 2 is saved. Okay. So we'll go to my case now. All the steps are not coming. No. Okay. What I'm doing is actually I'm going to create these things once again. Just the steps onto that. I'm just going to create the steps once again onto that. So that will also solve the problem. So we have our case. Okay. So within that, I'm going to create collect information multiple, so that will also solve the problem for time being. I'll show that actually why it was not happening. So here I'm going to create request, and you can go for PTO. Yeah. So fine. So now actually change that to in this way. So now yeah. So now if you can see, you are in the create request. So you can see the option of this one, configure view. And actually multi-step process, if it's converted to that, this option will be not there. Actually in multi-step process, we need to do the data modeling and UI designing from our end. So mainly like when we are designing, we do in the single step, we click onto that. It will open the data model view for us. So here we can add fields directly. And the beauty of Pega is that once you created the fields here, it will create the wireframe for the UI as well. So if you say I'm going to create, because I'm not creating any fields, so if you create the fields directly here, actually say I want to give the create date time. So I can drag the property directly here. If it is the properties are already created. So that actually like we can drag the property. So if you want to, the property need to be displayed here, we need to add it in the data model here of the case. So all the fields which are related to the, when you can add the fields directly into the case, and then we can use the fields in there directly. So if we say we have user type of request, and the type of request we want to as a drop down. So the drop down, you can use the pick list. So here you can see that all the simple type of the fields, text, boolean, currency, text, tent only, decimal. So whatever the fields you want to create, you want to just select the type of it. And if you want to create field group, this is for page group, this is for page list. Item we want to create, we can choose that option. And this is, I'll tell you about this too, is not required for you at the moment, This is for actually if you want to create a reference data and we want to refer that, we can use for that one. So this is related to database thing, so we can skip this too as of now. So mainly like we are going to create multiple properties of this type.
So mainly our property configuration is only for data that has to be entered externally, like the user entered data, or
yes, most of the time we do for that one data modeling or to that, because most of our other fields are Pega take care of that, like case related the things, Pega will take care of that thing. The case related data, who has created it, when what is created, there are a lot of fields Pega's defined one. So most of the time we do the data modeling for externals, what we need to enter the data for the business related things. So if you see it like this one, I want to apply multiple drop down, it will display as a drop down into the UI. So here I can go for PTO, I can add multiple fields, family leave, family events, or medical leave, or annual leave, and bereavement. Yeah, so that's the way actually I've added many fields onto that, and we need to give the start date so that we can pick the item as date only field, so that we can do it this way. So that the field is now created. Actually, like in the behind, Pega will create the respective properties directly. And if you want, actually, like if you see actually from the data side, when we have created the application design, we have given two different approach, employee and employee is there. So we can create a employee here as well. So that will refer to going to the same data object. So if we say for employee and we want to display as a user reference. No, actually not that. So I was just looking at that. Actually, it's a there was actually confusion happened actually for 7.2.1 how to create a single page only. This is for field group. This option was there in 7.1.9, but in 7.2 I'm not able to find one more. There should be one more type should be there just for to create a single entity. So for time being, I'm going to create as a list item onto that one. So here I need to decide which data object I want to create. So here I can write an employee. So that is actually, you can see it's coming to that. So within that employee, I need to create fields into this one separately. So I refer that data objects in my case now.
Wish you said this employee data type or data field was already there. Is that what you said?
Yeah, actually like when we have created our application, we have given one data type, actually like employee. Like we created applications, right? We have given the case. So that was actually pre-created during the application so that we know that employee is going to create the leave request. So we have created that data type from there itself.
Oh, when
so
we create a time off application?
Yes, that's right. That we have created case, business objectives and application name. So that ABCD we have given. So there we have given that one. So you can see the data type and objects. So within that employee, we can create many more fields which is associated with it. So if we say here we are going to create the first name, last name, and all other fields which is department, manager. So we are going to create all the fields in this data object. So if you want to add more data type, I'll just show you that how we to do that. So here we are going to use the first name,
you're adding this to the employee, right?
Yes, that's right.
As a list.
Yeah, actually, I was get a little bit the problem actually how to create a page from here. I know actually technically can that be done, but as a business architect role, how to do that? Is that option is actually missing in this version. Might be actually it was given as a patch later, but that option is missing to create as a single entity, single page. So actually, if you see from the option, actually here, actually in previous version, there is one more option to create as a single item in the complex type. So that there was 5 earlier, and this one actually only has 4. So that will be great. Not able to create the just a single entity of the employee. So I have the manager, then department. And I can go for my allot time off. Or so that actually I'm going to put a decimal, and you can see that available time off. So this is like for different leaves, it will be different option can come. So for timing, just allot time off, and you can see that acute rate. So how much leave is already taken. So that the fields we need to go for our case. And now actually in our data model we have captured that we need 3 more data objects: other leave, extended leave, and PTO leave. So we are going to capture these 3 fields. So how to add a new data object or data type? So if you see at the top of there, we have an option to add new data type. So we can click onto that, and we can give the name as other leave as a new data object. And this is not required for your role, but might be later actually system architect can change this one actually, because see this is actually like I told about at the starting, there are 4 layers. So this is actually going to be created into the organization level now. But if you can see, other leave is not required into the organization level, that we need to create onto the application level, like implementation level. We should create that. So if you want, we can change from here. Let's see if you will see time of data. So we should go for implementation layer of the class. So that will be going to be created onto the implementation layer. So that is like if we can do that, we can do that. But most of the time, this is done by system architect once we design the data types later. Okay, so this is actually like we created it. Same we can go for, so it will be auto refreshed here in seconds. Yeah, so if you see other leave is came, we need to create 2 more data types in the same way. So this one I'm going for extended leave, and again I can change that to back to when to use the time of data, so that it will be going to be created into the implementation layer only. So I can choose the time of rule set as well. So this is actually like that's I told this is required from the rule of an essay. So we can just create, and we don't go to advance that one. So we can just keep that one as well. So that's the final one I'm going to create. So this one I'm not changing that. I'm going to create this one to the organization level itself. So later SA can change that out. Okay, so this is just the PTO and then PTO leave and submit that. So it will be going to be created into the organization level. And now I can add the fields at the same way we did it for. So this is for extended leave. For extended leave we need two fields, end date and extended leave time. So here I'm going to give the end date and I can go for date only onto that and go for extended leave time. Okay, so this way two fields are added here, and I go to the PTO. In PTO I have to add three fields, all day, date and hours. So if you say we want to go for complete day one, so this is yes or no, we want to go for that, so we can choose a boolean. And which date I want the leave, so I can give that one. And then which hours actually I need to, how many hours I want leave for that day, also that's possible. So sorry, okay, there is one mistake I did. So in Pega, one thing is that you cannot change the, once the type is defined, you cannot change it back. You need to delete that and need to create that, because if you say I've given as a date and by mistake I did not change it, so I need to change that to delete and recreate that one. So for this one, if I go for decimal, so see the date actually now changed to text, so I need to delete it and recreate that one. I cannot change the, once it was defined, type cannot be changed for the properties. So there is a limitation in Pega. You need to delete it and recreate again. Okay, so that's the field we have created for everyone, and I think other leave was pending. Okay. In other, we need two type, number of days and type of bereavement. So this one actually we are going for a integer. So this will be and so type of bereavement means that is it a close relationship or anyone onto the family onto that. So that we are selecting that. So that actually we can make that say pick list, or we can add the items separately as a later. So I made that as a text itself now. So now we have created our all the fields, everything. And if you want to see the visualize it, you can see all the.
I lost the display.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave and I'll come back.
Yeah, I think you can do that. But
I got it. I got it now.
oh, okay, that's better. So you can visualize, you can see what are the different data models are there, and if there is a link between them, you can see that out as well. But currently we have not created any relationship, so will not come. Sometimes it's a little slow to display the data visualizer. Uh, okay, I'll show you this later. I just want to collapse that now. So now actually like we have created the all the data objects. Now if you go back to the time of, okay, and if you go to the life cycle, so if you see in the create request, I can go to the create view of it. Only problem, yeah, okay, sorry, 1 minute, I need to do one more part. So in the data model, I need to add all other the leave objects also here. There we have just created the data objects. We have not created as part of the case. So I need to create them here as well. Extended leave. Okay, and the problem I have actually, okay, I need to create all them as a list item only now. I cannot show you that the problem to create a single item. So I can choose that. So that data object can be now part of this leave, the same way for PTO and others one as well. I'll just tell you on Monday like how we can create the different approach which is given in 7.2.1 to create page. In technically, like I can go from here, I can create a page separately, but in the view mode, how to do that as little, it's not getting into that. Okay. So we need to create first the data objects, or actually if you want to create just fields, we can add into the data models directly without any data objects. If they are not related to anything, if you just want to create separately, we can create that fields in directly as a case directly. And if they are related to the data objects, we first create the data object and then we create the respective page or any page item to display that data objects. So if you say other one, other leave, so there I can go for again. So time being I'm going for the field group list. Okay. So that is like automatically it comes at which data object you want, and finally the PTO one. Yeah. It will take 10 more minutes to show that one actually how we can use in the data model. Hope that will be everyone okay with that, right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, thanks Manoj. Come on, it's a little bit slow to do that. Yeah, the final one actually just I'll add the PTO and then we can go to display that. So here I can go for PTO leave, and here again I'm choosing a field group list only for the time being. And here again I need to use the PTO. So that's the okay. So that's now it's like all the fields I've also created into the case itself.
This is the personal edition, right?
Yes,
What are you
that's right.
doing?
Yes, yes, I'm doing in personal edition only. Personal edition, yeah, actually, like, somehow actually, like if you say, it depends on your computer's processors and speed, how fast you can go. So, okay, let's see. Keyword of the name is not valid, the valid name started. It is alphabet only. Okay. No, still some issue with the Okay, just change to PTO only, and I saved it. Trying to save them. Yeah. I think it's. I just replace it, and I'll see that it should be. I mean, it should not be an issue.
Doesn't it say what's the error or problem?
Yeah, sorry, actually, it was not able to create that one. I think it says that there should not be any alphabets, or actually, like it should be start with alphabet. It was already with alphabets, but it was showing that it should be start with the alphabets there.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not great. Yeah. So I'm just creating one more time after that video, and then we can. Yeah. Now it should be done. So all the fields which we will require, and it will be created into the case now. So now we can use that into our case. And the beauty of the Pega is as soon as you will create the fields, automatically it will create the wireframe as well. So we can see in our application all the fields will be the UI part, it will create that one. All the related flow action sections, it will create for that the same. Okay, so see, I want to go to the create request. Okay. I can go to the configure view of it. Okay, and here I can feel that okay, I have an employee. So if I'll write employee, automatically it will change to me as a field group. All the fields which I added will be displayed here directly. So currently I'm not need in the create request allowed time off and this field. I'll use that 3 fields in separate place. So I've added these 3 fields, and apart from that I want to go with the type of request. So so I can select like that, or its name is not coming, so I can drag the fields directly from here as well. So if you say I have fields from here, actually we have created type of request and start date, so I can drag the fields directly, so that will be directly it will come. Okay, and I don't want this field, so it's deleted one. So this way I added all the fields which is required for the first half. So I can click submit, and the same way I can configure onto the same view onto the next one. It's running a little bit slow, so it will take longer time to complete that. So same in the PTO, I need the PTO as need to be added as there, and I do the same way for PTO. Okay, and here also I can just add the PTO as here. So all the fields related to the PTO will shown here. Okay, and that's it actually for this one. We need just 3 fields as per our demo purpose. And next actually we need to go for the next one, extended leave. Here we are going to use the data type of the extended directly. So the 2 fields which we have defined, I quickly come here. So same way, we just need to do for 2 more, and then you can see how it looks like into the case manager or case user. So effectively that's the thing actually I was trying to do, configure a view. Otherwise, I cannot do this part actually if it is a multi-process. So it is a single steps itself, I can do these things. In multi-step, the configuration view will not come. I need to go to the actual section, which is was some of the technical bit, how to do that. So that actually I'm going to show you that some of the bits onto the UI modeling, how we can, the section which was created from this, how we can make some changes to that section into the UI modeling. So this is for other, right? Yeah. Sorry. Other leave. Oh. So that's the done. And now the last one, like, fast. It's a little bit slow today. Okay, so the final one, we are going to use the from the employee data type, but where we are going to show that what is the allowed time off, available time off, and accord, the 3 fields from the employee one. Okay, so here we are going to the employee. So it will see, I don't want all other fields. So I've just deleted the other fields from here. Yeah, so that's actually like done. Only the thing is that I've created all that as a list item. So it will be displayed as a list there. It will not display as a single entity. Now actually everything is done. I will save my case and I can see how it looks like into the UI now. Okay, so it's saved now. I can go and launch my case manager to display it out. So in this way, if you can see, we have our some of the things which are done within it. So this time, all the fields which we have created also we can see from this one. So if I go with the create time off, so we have added all the employee fields. It will display as a single row now. Yeah, first actually it will ask you all the fields which you have added here. So that actually you are going to display. You can just done it. So this is, if you can see the UI, actually which we want to do that wireframing. Ultimately, like the request is comes directly. So that wireframe is for which we want. It is we can go for this wireframe for our project. So if you see like normally this information should come from some database. So we might require some integration so to get the fetch data and display this part. Okay, and if you see the type of request, it should come with a drop down. Okay, it's not coming. Look at it. Yeah, it's not coming as that actually expected. And this the date. Actually, we can have the calendar directly. Like we can select it out, and if you submit it, it will go to the next one. And there we have the PTO. So there also we have mark that as list. Okay. So now we can see like you want all day, so you can choose as an all day checkbox. So for the Boolean, directly it picks as a checkbox type of the property, and for which day you can select the date, and if in the like hours you can skip. If you want to add more items, you can go for like I want on 22nd for 2 hours, and if you want to more items, same way we can add multiple items onto that. 4 and yeah. So this is like you can see in easy. So now if I don't want the 4 item, I can go and delete that item directly. So that is like then it will be the next on to the bereavement. So there also will be shown as a list. So that's it, like again for extended leave, then the other leave will come. So this will directly like create the UI as well for us. So all the related rules, the flow actions, sections are already also created for us. And finally, like the accrued leave, that we have 3 fields, so that will be shown into the next one. Yeah. So theoretically we have accurate rate available, and this fields also should be in a read-only mode, and it should be come from the some of the database of the where we are storing the employee details. So that actually we can use an integration to get that details, and we can show that details here directly. So this actually way when we are creating the data model and we create the view with the just property, it creates the wireframe for that UI as well. So that's it actually for today. Sorry for that today it's like a little bit mess up to convert that multi-process to single process, and so you reuse that one. So that took little longer time. Any questions now?
No, Mukesh, like, I mean, do you have any notes? I know maybe a big note though, like for step-by-step doing things like this. Do you have anything like that? Like with screenshots or something like that? Just how to navigate.
Yeah, I think I'll check that out. Actually, if it's not there, I'll just prepare one for you. I'll share that.
Yeah, at least a small one, you know. So I mean, I know we're going through it, but still, just
Yeah.
we're doing a small exercise kind of thing in our installed one to it will be easy if you have something like that to do it.
Sure. Sure, Manoj. Actually, I'll share some of the other one. Actually, like how to do that. Actually, I'll just share that one, a small one. So that is like we are doing for time off. I'll have for an expense voucher. So I'll share that with everyone.
Okay, sure.
So that will contain the steps also how to do this, that one. So in that, the steps also is there into that one. So that I'll share with you
Right.
everyone.
To create the application and then the different stages and then yeah, like that.
Yeah,
And
that's
all
right.
the
Yeah.
data fields.
Yeah. Yes, Manoj. I'll share that with everyone.
Sure. Thank you.
So this is the way, actually, like you see, actually we have created the data models and what are the different data types which we have and how to use that into the case. And then finally, like we can see that completely wireframe is like created that one. We don't need any mockups to create the UI. So directly like we can have a directly with the real data, we can create the UI modeling onto that. So that's the Pega's beauty of that. Actually, directly like you see, we can actually don't want any changes. So the application can be used to for request directly now. Like with actually when we complete our course, like the time of request will be completed by that. We can have actually like a running solutions for the time of application.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it for today. So we'll continue on Monday. I think it will be your Sunday evening. So we want to start on Tuesday my time, right?
Yeah.
That's it, right? Right. So we're going to meet on Tuesday morning my time, or like Monday evening your time.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we talked.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you
So
just send an email before the class? It's just to make sure I don't miss it. That's it.
yeah, sure, Prem. Actually, I've shared the last 4 slides.
Yeah.
Everything I've shared with Ashok today. So he's going to share that one today, everyone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So we're going
Thank
to
you.
meet on Tuesday morning now. Okay. Like
So the date is 16th, is it? October 16th.
not 16th. Tomorrow
Okay.
is Sunday 17th, 18th morning for India and 17th for US.
Okay. 18th morning. Yeah. That's great.
Yes, 18th morning for US. Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank
Okay.
you. Thanks everyone.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.